All right, today we're doing Module 5, Lesson 10, and your learning goal says, I can find the area of rectangles by filling them in with square units. Okay, so today we're really going to be thinking a lot about area, but we're going to start off by reviewing what we learned about before spring break. And what would you say, if you had to sum up what we learned about before spring break in one word, what would you say? Everyone? Volume. Okay. Are volume and area the same thing? No. Are they kind of related? Area deals with what kind of figures? How many dimensions? 2. And volume deals with 3-dimensional objects. Very good. So we can see here that rectangle A has 2 dimensions. It has a length and a width. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Hold on. Okay, because rectangle A, I'm going to make it really small here, because rectangle A has 2 dimensions, a length and a width, we can't use just regular units. Because regular units, a centimeter, a foot, a yard, a mile, is just a line. And we can't use lines because lines only have how many dimensions? 1. Because rectangle A has 2 dimensions, we need to use a kind of unit that has 2 dimensions. So what kinds of units have 2 dimensions? Square units. By using the square units, we can see that rectangle A is how many units long? 2. Go ahead and fill that in your workbook. 2 units long. Once again, here's the first unit, and here's the second unit. It's 2 units long. Now we can see that we pushed 3 more tiles there, or 3 more square units. And so along the edge, keep in mind that the edge is only 1 dimension. So right there, we can see that rectangle A is 3 units wide. Now, if we were to use more square units to completely fill up rectangle A, do we have room for more square units right here? Okay, go ahead and fill those in and see how many square units it takes to take up as much space as rectangle A. Now that we've covered up our entire rectangle with square units, we can count to see how many square units it takes. Remember, this edge was 2 square units. Let me use a different color so we could see it. The length, we said, was 2 square units, and the width was how many, or no. Sorry, do we use square units to measure a length? No. We use what kind of units? Regular. How many regular units did it take to cover the length? 2. How many did it take to cover the width? 3 regular units. That's why you wrote that rectangle A is 2 units long by 3 units wide. Now let's count to see how many square units, remember this one post-it was a square unit, it took to cover the entire rectangle. How many did it take? 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the area is how many square units? 6 square units. You already knew how to use a multiplication sentence to do this, didn't you? Yeah. Go ahead and write where it's under rectangle A right now. I want you to sketch the rectangle. So it should look like this, and draw all of the square units. So your picture should look like mine. Okay, this time I can see that my rectangle is 3 units long. Right, here's 1, 2, and 3. And then how wide is it? Well, here's 1 unit, here's 2 units, and this is exactly how much of a unit? Half. So how wide is it? 2.5 units wide. Let's go ahead and sketch that. Here's 1 unit, here's 2 units and a half. Now, remember, when we sketch things, we want to make sure we label them. So I'm going to label the top there 3, and over here 2.5. Now, what do I need to do to fill in the rest? We're not going to just do a multiplication sentence. Here's what we're going to do. So we counted our square units to see that we have 7.5 square units. Do you guys see that? What multiplication sentence could we use to get there? Rohan? 3 times 2.5 will equal 7.5 square units.